All right, everyone, welcome back to another technical analysis session. My name is Shill Bill. We'll start off with BTC. Always a thing that is going to be driving, the driving force of the market and sort of where we're going to be going. Like the BTC's direction and its movements do impact absolutely everything that we do with Axie and all the other coins like SLP, ETH, AXS, and potentially RON when it comes out. They're going to be within the Axie ecosystem. So if we're looking at BTC at the moment, not looking great. Not looking that bad though either. Short term, not looking great. Looks like we're probably on our way back down to test that 52,777 area here where I got that alert set. So we have, we've had a nice run up. We did make that new 69K top, or at least top for now, and just on a retracement back from here. So we had that little pullback here, came back up, didn't really get much further, and have now started creating that new market structure. So we're making new lower lows here on this compared to where we were. So what I'm looking for at the moment and just holding against is watching this level here where we've got that support back to the left and we've got that structure. So for me, I'm waiting for BTC pretty much to sort of come back, and if we can hit that pocket right here where we've got both of those things, seeing if it bounces at least to come back up to the top, or seeing if it falls through and then we start creating that bearish market structure. So on the daily for me in BTC, it really is this pocket here and that level sort of where we're going to be, coming back to this trend line. We've only had a couple of touches so far, but coming back to that trend line and then watching this nice level of support that we've got at that 52K and seeing what happens. So we've probably got a few more days before we get into there and land in that pocket, but that's ultimately what I'm looking for, and to be seeing if BTC is going to make its next leg up. Looking at ETH, we'll go on the perps and the USD, and we'll have a quick look at the ETH BTC pair as well, because it's pretty important at the moment. What we can see here had that nice just perfect trend. Like ETH trends so nicely, and I'm much more willing to trade these things when we've got that nice clean market structure and those nice clean trends. So you can see here just higher, high, higher, low, high, 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 low, high, high, and just does it the whole way up. All right, just super clean, bullish market structure. Has a bit of a run, pulls back, goes higher. What we don't see this kind of nice structure in is SLP, which we'll have a look at later. And then at the end of the video, we're going to be looking at how to hedge against SLP. Or the price falling in SLP, so you can lock in your price for your fortnightly claims. So with ETH, it's sort of now stuck. I did get that alert, has set off here. We've come back and retested that level of resistance. So from what I'm looking at the moment, if we do fall back below this 50 moving average, is ETH to sort of range in between, and I'm happy for it to sort of range in between here, which is fine. If it comes down and breaks, and we create that new bearish market structure with those lower lows, that's when I'll be looking at, temporarily exiting some positions, or at least managing my risk against my breeds and things like that. So that's ETH. If we go to the SLP, we're going to go the ETH pairing first. My squiggler that didn't do anything. It did nothing last time. We're still stuck below, right? We're stuck below that 50 moving average. If we pop the Bollinger Bands on, they're starting to really squeeze. So we're either going to have an impulse move, to the up or down. Unfortunately, at the moment, I think it looks like probably to the downside. At the moment, the way everything else the market's looking in with BTC and ETH, because remember that the SLP, if ETH makes some violent moves either way, it's going to impact the SLP ETH and essentially impact the SLP USDT pairings as well. So let's put in the Bollinger Bands. Look at the dollar price. This is what I really look at for my scholars. And most of the time, like when I'm trading, I'll be looking at the BTC pairs, because if something can't beat BTC, I'm not interested, because the opportunity cost of just not holding BTC anyway, you lose money at the end of the day. So the SLP USD is going to be very reliant on what this ETH chart does. So when this has a pump, then this is going to as well. So at the moment, we're still below that 50 moving average, and we're looking at heading back down to, you know, have another touch of this level here, which is that 6 cents level. And that's it's a pretty important level, because if we break this and start going down below, we only just went below last time, and we were only there for pretty much the wicks. But if we come back down and start closing below this, 3.5 cents is my next target for SLP, and that's just, I've been saying that for quite a while. There is ways to hedge against that, which we'll cover off later if we do get those closes, and sort of what I'm going to be doing. But very much reliant on the ETH pairing, and just sort of seeing what we do when we get to this level here at 6 cents. So hopefully we bounce from here, and we do find support, and we start creating some new market structure. But the way that this chart runs, right, all these massive pushes are just from news that's popped out. So this is the DEX. There was other news here from, you know, whatever all the different news is. But essentially there's so much selling pressure because we're still minting more than we're burning, and there's no other mechanics in Axie to sort of combat that at the moment. So there's a consistent downward selling pressure from all the scholars, all the managers, everybody. So very, very keen to see what happens when we hit that 6 cents, if we get there, whether it holds support or breaks below. But this is just sort of what I'm watching in here, and obviously always I'm taking my profits at about 9.3, where we've got structure over to the left, and you know, just very, very closely watching this 6 cents mark at the moment, because if it breaks, we're in some trouble. If it holds, we will start going up, and I'll have to manage my hedge positions on the perpetual contracts. What else we got? AXS. Actually, we didn't look at the ETH BTC pairing. So I think, yep. So this is the video previous where I was looking for that, and then lower, which we got, and I drew this squiggly in on the last time that we had a video for ETH, and been watching this pairing at the moment. So we did have that exact thing where we came back up, hit that level of resistance, came back, broke through, which we did. I thought we would retest and hold this zone here because it's been resistance previous. We did break through, but now sort of, you know, broken up and out of this flag. We got a nice little sort of bear flag here. We've broken up out of that. And what I'm watching for ETH now is to maybe, you know, come down a little bit back to here, depending on what Bitcoin's doing. But then ultimately we are, where I'd like to see it heading is that 0.079. We do have this level of resistance at the moment. So the same way as I was looking for here to go up and test the resistance, pull back a little bit, and then break through, I'm looking for the similar thing here, where we've got the resistance pretty much right where we are now, is for it to come back and then create that nice market structure like we've seen before we head up and test this next level of resistance. So ETH looking pretty good, especially because the BTC chart will also drive what Bitcoin is. So if this goes up 10%, but Bitcoin goes down, you know, 2%, you're still making that gain in the US dollar pairing for ETH, because it has beaten Bitcoin by more than Bitcoin has dropped itself. Last one, AXS. That is the BTC chart, which is looking pretty good. But this is the one we've been really watching, and we're back into this consolidation box. We broke out of it before. This is what I was watching, and I drew this squiggle last time, I think, and I was looking for it to then make its next leg up. However, we've now sort of fallen back into this box, and we've got this level here at 139, which is pretty brutal resistance, and that's where there are a lot of sellers. So we've had all these touches back here before. For me, now wanting it to close outside this box, at least in the 4-hour chart, if not on the daily, I think was when we were looking at it before. Yeah, we've had all these wicks to the top upside with the daily, getting it to close above this, and then clearing this to make that new higher high. And just confirm that market structure is still bullish. We're above the 50 moving average. We've been there for a while. The weekly chart, I think on AXS, we were quite high here. We were peaking out on the RSI at about 90. Yeah, about 90 or so. So this is just coming back down. So we're still pretty high up in the weekly chart for this. However, it can just keep going, and that's doesn't always have to doesn't always have to agree with the RSI. And we're starting to get these pulling away pretty far from each other, and if that crosses, I'll be looking into this on the long term for AXS as well. But as always with Axie stuff, it's very reliant on news, especially for AXS and SLP. So I hope that was a bit insightful. We'll jump into the next part.